But with that, guys, we got to get to this Robocop review. That's what we got to start talking about. And yeah, just kind of give you guys, my general thoughts on the film itself. I mean, what I just like about this movie is how it is a perfect examination of 1980s, Reaganomics, American capitalism, consumerism is an excellent critique of that. Like, so much of this, yeah, you're following this cop who, after being, horrifically mutilated, chat. Horrifically, there's something like a scene that always makes me queasy when I watch this. Go, oh my god, everything about just so gory, and psychologically just disturbing too. About all like these guys taking pleasure in maiming this man, but like the movie does function like in the background. In some ways, it's very obvious of the Red Scare of the time, of that mass consumerism. And it plays into the film itself and the narrative itself, but all the stuff that just happens in the background, like those TV commercials, the newscasts, where he's like, oh yeah, 2 presidents were accidentally murdered today because the big Star Wars project that was being worked on malfunctioned and targeted all these areas around there, like something that you don't even remember. It's like, oh my god, it's right. Like stuff like that, like really makes the film, and I think perfectly acclimates you to the world itself that they establish. Paul Verhoeven did an amazing job. It's my favorite of his movies, which he's great. I mean, he's done stuff like probably my second favorite film he's ever done, which is Total Recall, which is not as good as Robocop, but still a great movie. And he's done other things like I always forget the name of it, the bug one, Starship Troopers, which I mean is not which like I know that Paul Verhoeven, thankfully he's doing like a subtle critique of fascism, but that original author was a fucking fascist, so I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I always admired Paul Verhoeven for doing that. But yeah, that's what I liked about the film. It was a commercial hit for its time, about a budget of $13 million, which is crazy. It's like, wow, all this stuff that you have in this movie, all these wonderful practical effects. Most of the practical effects hold up in this film. There's some stop motion that just fucking doesn't. I know Ed 209's iconic, robot from film history. I'm not an Ed 209 fan, never been, because I'm just like, I know it's a joke in the film that he's so fucking incompetent and can't do anything and malfunctions, but there's scenes when they're doing stop motion with him, it's like, yeah, this doesn't hold up, this doesn't work. Like, when it's just a big fucking puppet, then it's fine. When the stop motion stuff, no, thank you. But no, this is a budget of $13 million. Made a profit about $53.4 million, but it was the merchandise. Funny enough, the merchandising that made this movie so much money. The thing that Paul Verhoeven critiques in the film. That's what was big success for Robocop. They had fucking toys, they had video games, they had an animated television show, which is like, this should not be for children. But in the 80s, people didn't give a damn. They made a fucking Rambo TV show. They had an Aliens TV show. Yeah, I don't think it ever went to series, but that was, you could find like stills of it online. And they had Robocop. And Robocop became what it was critiquing, which I thought was so funny. They did 2 sequels, one of which was written by Frank Miller. I believe he wrote the second one. I don't know if he directed, but he wrote the second one. No, he just wrote, he didn't direct it, because his directorial debut was The Spirit. But he wrote the second one. That one's not good. Don't watch it. Third one's awful. It's god fucking awful, chat. It's a terrible movie. Couldn't get back. The only actor they could get back is Nancy Allen, who plays the worst cop in the world, Lewis. She is terrible, chat. Every time she's like, I'm gonna save the goddamn day, she fucks up. She's the reason why Murphy gets fucked up. She's the reason why he gets fucked up again later on in the film. She's terrible at her goddamn job. She never reads the Miranda rights to people. Just awful. Don't have her be your partner, chat. She went through like at least 3 partners in this film, I want to say. One who died off screen. Then she had Murphy. He got fucking blasted. And then she's on Jerry. We don't know what happened to Jerry, but I don't think it was good. I don't think Jerry made it in this movie, chat. But, so, I absolutely adore this film. Highly recommend checking it out. But here we go, chat. It's a dystopian future. We don't know the year. But it's set in Detroit. And things aren't going well for Detroit. Typical, I would say. Crime is rampant. The poverty is up to goddamn here at this point. The police department is overworked. No one knows what to do. Like, I even like how this film opens up, honestly, chat. Where it just starts with just a newscast and all the commercials that I said before. These like terrible, like sexist I mean, just kind of like sexual-oriented shows that just throwing you in your like right into your face. Everything on the news, it's like done with a smile as they're talking about like these horrible genocides happening in Mexico or Europe or Africa, and they cut to these other commercials of like how the prison system. I mean, the medical industry, even though it already is, like, everything's just been privatized at this point. It's like, Jesus, this is a bad future, but it's done with a fucking smile because everything's being sold to you. That was brilliant. And how, like, the film originally opens is with this division. Who this corporation called the OCP, I believe. Yeah, the Omni Consumer Products Corporation. And like they're following these three executives that are heading up this goddamn elevator. Like, okay, it's like, oh, we got to go to this goddamn presentation. We're following the main character among them. Chad is Bob. Like Bob, he doesn't want to. It's like, I don't want to. I have to be here. I want to work on my Robocop program. And he's like, now we got to go up there, man. We got to talk. We got to be lectured by Dick Jones and the old man, whose name I always forget. What's the old man's name, chap? Oh, god damn it. Well, they just call him the old man. He doesn't even have a real name. He's called he's the old man head of OCP. But they have to go to this presentation. Who the hell is texting me? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the review. I gotta put my phone on silent. Apologies, guys. Apologies. Let me go ahead and put this on silent. Come on. Close all. Come on. God damn it. It's just going off. So Bob and his friends, they're going up to this meeting chat to hear a presentation from Dick Jones. He's going to show off his new project, the Ed 209, which again, basically in this future, the Detroit Police Department is going to be privatized. The OCP is coming in there and they're going to show off their latest hardware thing. They want an Ed 209 and every goddamn block and every street corner to protect Detroit. And also, OCP's working on a big project, basically this new, the new Detroit, chat, the nice shiny, a gentrified Detroit, and they need all this criminal element pacified, locked up, or in best case scenario, fucking murdered, so they can build their, their glorious city. And that's what the old man wants. And so Bob and his friends, they go up there. Kenny's one of them, Kenny, and there's another guy who we forget, Urkel. We got Urkel, we got Kenny, and we got Bob, chat. And Bob's none too pleased to be here. And so Dick Jones, he enters it. Big Dick Jones comes in there, chat. And he's like, all right, guys, so I have my plan. We got Ed 209. We're ready to start manufacturing these sons of bitches. I'm going to go and show them off for you and, of course, the old man. The old man's like, all right, go ahead and go show us what you have, Dick. And so they bring out Ed 209, and it's like, oh, it's a big fucking machine puppet. It's like, that looks good. But then it starts moving. Chat's got that stop motion stuff, which I've never been a big fan of. But it's like, okay, whatever. I'll forgive it. It's the one special effect in this film I don't like. Love all the other stuff. A lot of squibs in this movie. A ton of fucking squibs, which we'll see in the next minute. And so he brings in this thing. It's like, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set up a little scenario to see how Ed 209 would diffuse the situation with a criminal. And so he calls up poor old Kenny, who's just his first goddamn day at work, chat. His first week, he's like, hey, Kenny, come up here. I want to show you how to do it. You're gonna be the criminal that Ed 209 is going to pacify. So take this giant fucking magnum, this big dick silver magnum, and just point it at Ed 209. And Kenny's like, all right, I'll do it. Ed 209's like, target must, drop the weapon or be destroyed. And Kenny's like, whoa, fuck. Everyone's freaked out by this thing because it's horrifying. It's like a giant, turtle mech thing. It's about, I don't know, I'd say 4 meters tall. It's fucking wide and thick. You don't want to mess with this thing. And, Kenny's like, I don't want to mess with you. So he just throws the gun on the ground. She's like, hey, I'm being pacified. I give up. Ed 209's like, you have 15 seconds to comply. Everyone starts like, he's complying. He's like, 10 seconds to comply. So Kenny just begins fucking panicking at this point. He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And he starts running towards me. I love it, chat. Because in this society, they set up all these greedy executives. They just start pushing Kenny out of the way. Like, get away from us, Kenny. And he's just screaming. It's like everyone's panicking. Chat, everyone's taking cover. Bob doesn't give a shit. And then Ed 209, he just, Kenny, they push Kenny just far enough away. And Ed 209's like, you didn't comply. And just lays into Chad. Blood squib. Just fucking eviscerate him. Just filling him with as much lead as possible. He falls in the model of their, the city that they want to design, New Detroit, chat. their holy goddamn city that they need to do. They first got to pacify all the criminals, but he falls in this thing, and it's just fucking laying into him. Kenny's already dead. He was dead at the first shot, chat. Ed 209 doesn't know. He's a big, dumb, stop-motion turtle robot. He doesn't give a damn. And they have to pull out the goddamn wires, and it's like, oh, shit. Maybe someone should call paramedics. I'm going to call an ambulance for good old Kenny, but it's too late, chat. It's too late. Just don't touch him! Don't touch him! And, the old man, he's like, Big Dick, I'm disappointed in you. And it's like, no one gives a shit about Kenny. He's like, I'm very disappointed. But then Bob, being the craven that he is, sees an opportunity. And he goes up to the old man and says, I know this is a setback for big old Dick Jones here, but I have the Robocop program. We can start prototyping in 90 days. And the old man says, I like your moxie, kid. Done deal. Go ahead and get this program started. And then Dick Jones is like, I don't like you. And he doesn't give a shit about Kenny. No one gives a shit about Kenny at this point, chat. And then we got Urkel who comes up behind him. He says, all right, can we do this? And he's like, yeah, I think we can. And we just need some poor schmuck to volunteer. And they also ask him a question. He's like, oh, too bad about Kenny. And Bob goes, no one cares about poor Kenny. He can't do stairs. You're right. Antoine Films will get to there. He can't do it. Ed 209 can't do a lot of things. He just looks cool, but he's super incompetent. Yeah, he does maybe one cool thing in this. He does that cool thing, even though it's an accident. And maybe one other cool thing later in the film. But other than that, he sucks. Oh, there's also those animal noises when Ed 209's like laying into somebody. Like sounds like a lion or like a tiger or a bear. It's crazy. So they're like, and then, Chad, we cut to that new schmuck apparently. Oh! Excess Undergrounds, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the sub, my friend. How you doing tonight? Is Urkel there? No, Urkel is the nerdy black guy. I don't remember his name. Who is that man, chat? I don't think he's not even billed. I don't know. I don't know what his name is. They killed Kenny. I think that's where the joke started. That was the original Kenny they killed, chat. Now, not Mayor Marvin, though. It's not Mayor Marvin. So we then cut to the Detroit Police Department, chat, and we see our new schmuck. And it's Peter Goddamn Weller, chat. And, he's just fucking gun-ho. He's a good-looking guy, a little quiet, but he seems to be... I like the cut of his jib. And he's entering a new department that has just been inundated with so many crimes. They're overworked to death, chat. We saw in the newscast that like 3 police officers were shot, 2 of them are dead, 1's on life support. Ain't no way he's gonna pull through. Fredrickson, we gotta pull through for Fredrickson. But they're bringing in Murphy, chat. What's it? I always call him Alex Murphy. I just call him Murphy. They're pulling in Murphy from the Southern Detroit Police Department, which apparently is a lot nicer. Everyone says, oh, it's a nice police department. But now you're here in downtown Detroit, old Detroit. We know all the help we can get. And, he goes ahead. Now, I noticed the chick, because we see, like, all throughout the police department itself, like, the building. And, like, it feels very of the time of the 80s. But then you see, like, some futuristic stuff in the background, like some technology, phones and things, like cell phones. Like, okay, that's kind of cool. I like how you're kind of modernizing to a degree. This is the 80s version of what they thought the future would look like. It's like, I like it. Like, advanced. They thought maybe, like, 10, 15 years from, like, 1987. I think that's how they pitched it. I think it looks cool that way. And so we're just cutting throughout this police station, chat, and it's like they don't give a shit about, separate bathrooms or anything. You got the ladies and they got the bazingas. They're changing right in front of the men. Because they don't give a damn at this point, chat. They don't you got a penis, a vagina, you got balls, you got boobs, whatever. It's like we are putting our goddamn lives on the line for people. We're going to change whatever the hell we want to change in, okay? Who gives a shit? And so that's what they're all doing. But then you got and some of the police officers just say, you know what? Fuck all this. We're dying. We're gonna go on goddamn strike. And then the angry black sergeant walks in, chat. Angry black police chief, because it's always angry black guy. I don't know why that is. Let's stereotype to a certain degree, chat. He walks in. He's going to remember Fredrickson I mentioned, chat, who was on the news. Goes to his locker, takes his name off. He died. He's like, listen. Like any officers who are not on duty are mandated to go to this guy's funeral. If you got any donations for the family, give it to Four Eyes over here. We would appreciate it. And then Murphy, he takes over Fredrickson's locker. It's very sad. And then Murphy walks out. He's like, all right, this is pretty fucked up. And then he's introduced to the absolute worst cop in the world, Lewis. I don't know what Officer Goddamn Lewis, played by Nancy Allen, does a great job as Lewis, but she sucks, Chad. And they first show her off like, oh, she's a badass because she's got a perp, Chad. But he gets out of her grip and she just does some kung fu fighting, Chad. She beats the shit out of him, knocks him out. Definitely a concussion, probably brain damage. And she walks around. She always has a lot of people chew gum in this movie. A lot of people chew gum, and she just blows a big old pink bubble. And he's like, are you Murphy? I was like, I am Murphy. And he's like, you're my new partner. I've already lost about 5, but come on with me. You're lucky number 6. And they go out, chat. And she's like, all right, listen, Murphy, I'm going to show you around town because I know these streets better than anybody. And Murphy, probably in hindsight, would be like, I was like, all right, I'll let you drive. But no, he's like, I'm gonna be the one who's going to drive here. He's like, I like to, when I'm breaking in a partner, police talk. So they go out and drive off, chat. They're having a good time. Then they get a call, apparently, after they're sipping some coffee. Again, like certain touches, chat, certain futuristic touches, like the coffee cups. They're not like plastic. They're not like paper or anything. Not even plastic. But like kind of like ceramic, like this all white ceramic thing. It's like small touches. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. They got a call on the radio, chat, and apparently it's Clarence Boddicker. The Clarence Boddicker gang, they have robbed the First National Bank and they're getting away. They're an armored truck. We need someone on the scene to take him down. He's a notorious criminal, chat. He's considered to be the ruler of old goddamn Detroit. King Bigby, think of the 300 biddies. Appreciate that, my man. Lewis is fucking sucking him up. That's fucking true. She's a fucking sucker mom pretending to be a cop. It's fucking ridiculous. She's so incompetent. She gets so many people killed in this chat. Oh, it's insulting. Poor Murphy. And so, Murphy and Lewis, they take the call because they're all gung-ho about it. I mean, Lewis because she's just an idiot. And Murphy's like, we're going to take him down. This guy's a menace to society. Oh, also, chat, we see like a little thing here because we find out that Murphy, he has a family. He has a lovely wife, a lovely son. He's doing this kind of trick with his gun where he's flipping the gun and twirling, like a cowboy or anything like that, chat. And he's like, well, my son, he watches this TV show. He asked me if I could ever do that, and so I've been practicing doing it, and he likes it when I do it. It's like, I love my son, I love my wife, I have a great relationship with both of them. Just can't wait to see my family after today. It's going to be great. So they go ahead, they chase after Clarence Boddicker and crew, and then we're introduced to the Boddicker gang, chat, and these guys are amazing. I mean, they're pieces of shit, but they're so fucking out there and so over the top. They're cartoon characters. They really are. They're the most cartoon aspect of this movie. Even more so than when Ed 209's a stop-motion figurine. They're just great. And, again, can we get a shout-out to Kurtwood Smith for his performance? Because he has so many iconic lines. Like, I've even considered just doing, alert sounds of some of his lines, because he's got the crew in the truck, Chad. They stole a whole millions of dollars, and he's pissed off because one of them, fucking Bobby, not Bob that works for OCP, Bobby, he blew the goddamn vault, but he burned all the cash, and so he's very upset. So you fucked up, Bobby. And they're just trying to get away at this point. But then Emil, who is like this red-haired guy, who has this really awful, I can't even describe his comb-over, Chad, but it's gross looking. It's like, ugh. And he gets grosser throughout the rest of the film. He says, there's some cops coming up, and we got Murphy's got his police helmet on. He's got 2 pistols. He's rocking it. Incompetent Lewis, she's driving the car. And Boddiger's like, God damn it. All right, we'll fucking open up the back door. We're going to blow them away, chat. So they open up the doors. No one's here. It's like, where the hell did they go? Emil's like, they're over there. They're over to the right, chat. And so they get into a big old protracted gun battle. At one point, Murphy, he shoots Bobby. And Boddiger's like, well, this presents a unique opportunity. He's like, Bobby, can you fly? Oh, no, he says, I'm sorry, I messed the line, chat. Can you fly, Bobby? And he's like, I was like, oh, what do you mean? And they fucking throw Bobby out of the goddamn truck. Can you fly, Bobby? Damn it, Bobby. That boy ain't right. So they throw Bobby out of the goddamn truck, hits the windshield of the police car. That gives him some time to get away, chat. And, McMurphy, they throw poor old Bobby off to the side of the road. He's dead, Chad. He's got too many bullets in him. That impact can cause brain damage. He's gone. Poor Bobby. He could not fly, guys. He could not fly. But they do manage to track them down to the old steel mill, where is one of Bodicker's known hideouts, apparently. And so they go, and they all go, again, they fucking split up. First they call in, it's like, we have the criminals here, and they ask me, like, do you need backup? He's like, and this is Murphy's fault, be all intents and purposes, Chad. He says, nah, we're gonna go ahead and get in there. Maybe they said backup in 20 minutes or some shit like that. It doesn't matter. But so fucking Murphy, Lewis, they go their separate ways, Chad. Lewis, again, incompetent. She encounters one of the criminals just fucking pissing. You know, she's like, turn around. He fucking turns around. Chad's just pissing all everywhere. And his big old schlong, his Dick Jones is out right here for everyone to see. And he's like, can I zip her up? And, you know, first of all, you would just say, no, fucking turn around, hands up, turn around, get on the goddamn floor, and the hands on your back. That's what a cop would do. But Lewis is too dumb and apparently just too horny to think of that right now. She just looks at the big old Dick Jones he's sporting. He fucking backhands her, Chat, knocks her over the side, gets knocked out. It's like, oh great, Lewis, you're a champ. Meanwhile, Murphy, who's actually being a competent cop, well, he kind of fucks himself here. He's chasing two of the criminals, Chat. Some schmuck who we don't even know watching TV, and Emil, the weird guy, the weird red-haired guy with the bad comb-over. I can't even describe it, Chat. He encounters them. He blows the one guy away. He has Emil like Gumpus. All right, get on. And he does the whole spiel. Get on your goddamn knees. You know, it's like dead or alive, you're coming with me. Iconic line. But then all the rest of the Bodecker gang comes in, Chat, and they all got their guns pointed at poor old Murphy. Should have waited for that backup. And then Mr. Bodecker comes out himself. He knocks him on the ground. And then, Chat, this scene always gets me. They're just fucking with him the entire time. And I just love it. Just I'm curious if Kurtwood Smith did a lot of improv for this, because for whatever reason, I just don't feel like you would see this in a script, like written out or something. Because he has this one part where he's holding his Murphy's leg down with his foot. I believe it's his right hand. And he just starts doing this, like it's tracking. Like, what should I shoot? And it stops and blows his fucking hand off. And every time he does it, it's like, ooh, because again, it's practical effects. And so it's just, it blows it all away. But it's not like a clean shot. It's like, oh, it just fell off. No, it's like the bone. You see the bone splintered and everything, Chat. It's just blood's just gushing out. You see the meat flaps. How many times do you see meat flaps in a lot of action films now? Not many. Meat flaps, Chat. Hanging off his arm. It's just gross. Like you're peeling a banana. It's like if Peter Weller's arm was a banana, you're seeing it right now. Just peeled. And then he's like, oh, shit, that's not good. And then Murphy gets up. He's like, just, you know, justifiably so, because his arm looks like a fucking banana peel. And then Bodicker's like, well, that was fun. All right, guys. And he just starts shooting the shit out of him, Chat. One of them blows the rest of his right arm away. That's completely fucking gone. They keep firing at him and everything like that. But he's still up there. He's on his knees at this point, Chat, but he's still there. He's still alive after just being inundated with hot lead. Bodicker's like, God damn, you're tough. And he just walks over and shoots him in the goddamn head. And then Murphy, he's out. He still has his eyes open. Apparently there's still some life left in there, but he's not looking too good. Bodicker's like, all right, we took care of that. It was fun. Let's get the hell out of here. Everyone's laughing. I don't know all the characters. You've seen a lot of these actors, Chat, who are part of the Bodecker gang. I forget there's the one guy, he has black dark hair. He's like very bright blue eyes. You've seen him and stuff. I love the hyena, the Tolkien black man in his gang, who basically sounds like a hyena or jackal. He does a great job. He has that very distinct laugh, which sets him apart from everyone else. Again, great. And some of the other characters too. Emil, just because you can see what happens to him later in the film, it's like oof. But yeah, this scene always fucking gets me, Chat. You don't see, just torture and just the practical effects and psychological manipulation, all in that, and just the glee. It's the glee that these guys get of blowing him away, like just blasting chunks of meat off of his body. It's just, it's hard to watch. Exactly, Darkslayer. And then fucking incompetent Lewis comes in, Chat, finally, when she should have been there before. They should have, it's kind of Murphy's fault too, but Jesus Christ, you just don't look at the guy's Dick Jones and you'll be gonna be okay. Whatever. She comes in there, and then she fucking calls back up finally. And so they rush him to the hospital, Chat. They got him in a helicopter. And then this is great, too, how all this is shot. Because when you see all the doctors trying to resuscitate Murphy, But none of it's working. I think, again, it feels very visceral, very real. I really liked it. But they're like, all right, couldn't get him. Call it. This is it. And then shall we get the montage? It's not. I guess it's not really a montage. It's these intermittent cuts where Murphy clearly, after signing his police department paperwork and everything like that, in the case of his almost death, if he's mutilated beyond or brain dead or something, then apparently he's thrust into the Robocop program. And you see all these things where Bob, not Bobby, Bob, he's got Murphy in there, and you see all these cuts of them just working on his programming chat, putting him together. Apparently they save his left arm, but then Bob just establishes the fact. We already knew Bob was an asshole because he didn't give a shit about Kenny, but now we're establishing that he's just a fucking prick. He's like, lose that goddamn arm. He's not gonna eat it. He's our property. Fuck him. He's a machine. And so they cut off his other good arm, chat, and then eventually, I guess it takes over a period of many months. Design. Oh, no, at least 3, because they said 90 days, so probably at least 3 months. And then they fucking did it, chat. They made Robocop, and they're doing all the tests and things. They bring him to the police department. I also like how you don't see like a full shot of Robocop just yet. Like it's always kind of like behind his back, or like you see him on like monitors or television screens. Like it's kind of cool that they kind of say, even though all the marketing, like they showed him just as he is. But I think that was kind of cool. Like instead of like, okay, what is he fully? And so they bring him to the police station. The black police chief is like, what is this nonsense? He's like, you work for OCP. We pay your goddamn bills. Shut up. We gotta bring in the Robocop. And then no one knows he's Murphy, by the way. Again, no one, I mean, they also supposedly wiped his entire memory, chat. So this is the fucking blank slate. He's flesh and machine. Steel and organic material. The strengths of both, the weaknesses of neither, as Saren Arturius once said in Mass Effect. And so they bring him in their chat, and he's just showing off how one of the badass he is. They show off like what how good he can shoot. Again, perfect aim with every capacity. Like because they do the whole range. They go to the police shooting range. Perfect headshots, perfect heart shots, blowing the guy's arms off, all of that. He's great. He's really good at his job. They show apparently what he eats, which is basically baby food. It's like this weird, I don't know, protein paste. It looks gross, chat. But Urkel loves it. He's just lapping it up the entire time. They're like, okay. So we gotta prove the old man, the Robocop, is good at doing his goddamn job. Send him out there. And they send him out there. He gets a goddamn car chat looking all badass and cool, but he still moves very robotic and awkward. Hands off. Can we get a tip of the hat? Raise our drinks to how good Peter Weller does this, like when he's in the suit. Yeah, they got a stunt double for certain scenes, but put an actor in all that stuff. Have most of his face covered. You don't really see that most of the time now, chat. Like the only time I can really think of that now is oh god, I always forget his name. God damn it, Carl Urban in Dread. We never see his face. So often superhero films, they're always taking off their mask and things. But like, I admire Peter Weller for that. And most of the movie just spends it as a cyborg. Oh, and the music. Oh, Barricade. Thank you for bringing that up. The music throughout this movie is great. I mean, it's that perfect. It's like I can't even replicate it, guys. But it's heroic. It feels sci-fi, but it's very much of the '80s too. It really is good. And then we get various scenes of Robocop just saving the day. He stops a robbery in basically a liquor store, grocery store. This one guy's just like, oh, fuck me. I mean, just depraved language, chat, just so depraved. So many swears. And Robocop just fucking, again, throws him through an ice machine. Clearly, maybe dead. I would guess he's dead or severe brain damage, chat. He's doing all his iconic lines and everything. The old couple was working. They were like, oh, thank you. You have. And a great joke, chat. You get the one TV show where it's like, I'd buy that for $1. That guy says, and it's like when they see Robocop walking out, he says the line. Nice. And then we get to the next point of criminal activity, chat. I believe, yes, it is a very iconic scene when he stops a rape. You get these two disgusting cretins attacking this poor woman, chat. And I get some of the lines they have. It's like, she has too much hair. And they're like cutting off the hair off her head. And then one of the guys says, but she has hair down there. And they just, they're trying to do the thing. But it's hilarious. Robocop fucking walks up. And like, you're gonna stop that, don't do that. And the guy's like, he holds her like this. He's like, I'll cut her, man, I'll fucking cut her. And he takes his gun out, shoots between her legs, and just blows his fucking dick off, chat. It's just gone. Dick and balls gone. This guy's like, it's great. This actor does a great job of relaying the fact that his dick and balls were completely blown off of his body. It works so well. The other guy's like, fuck that. I want to keep my dick and balls. I'll go to jail for life. Thank you very much. Lady Rock walks up to Robocop. She's hugging him. He's like, ma'am, I think you have some emotional shock. I shall call a rape center. And then we see more montages of Robocop doing stuff. He encounters a hostage situation. We got a crazy civil councilman, chat. This guy, he's holding the mayor hostage, and this guy, he doesn't want to accept the election results, Chad. He doesn't want to accept that he lost. And so Robocop, he goes up there, SWAT team has his car, he's like, distract him, I'll take care of it. And distracting this guy, promising all this stuff, but then the guy fucking loses it because he's nuts. And he's gonna blow the mayor away, but then Robocop has all this heat signatures things, to detect. He's like the Predator, chat, in this case. Someone saw the Predator. Probably was like, I saw the Predator. Let's use that in this one scene in the movie. And so Robocop just busts through a fucking wall of Kool-Aid Man and just murders the guy. Oh no, he doesn't murder him. Well, maybe he does. He throws him out of a window. And then we cut to the news channels. And the hot news right now, Chad, is all about Robocop. People are loving him. They're showing him at all the different school districts. And I love it too. Because this one reporter asked him, Robocop, what do you want to say to the kids out there? Stay out of trouble. It's like, no bullshit from Robocop. I love it. Typecast rapist. Hey, he did a good job, man. You gotta give it to him. Robbery Man is their actor who plays Maniac Cop. Really? Oh, that's awesome. Yes. He was also the showgirls of the rapist. Wow, consistent. I mean, that's what going. He's like the guy who plays the rapist in movies. I mean, it's a lot of work in that case, I guess, in films. And so, like, everyone's in love with Robocop, guys. The old man is very happy with the program. Bob, he's been promoted to vice president of OCP. Like, everyone's in love with the program. All the guys are schmoozing with Bob. He's got now the car to the executive lounge. People are like, all that kind of thing. But then he starts shit-talking, because Bob doesn't know when to quit. And he's talking about what an asshole, what a fossil that Big Dick Jones is. And everyone in the bathroom is like, oh, maybe you shouldn't be talking about that. Maybe you shouldn't mention that right now, man. Because as we see, chat, Dick Jones, he's taking a big old shit. We just see his legs, we see his pants done, he's farting and doing all those kind of things. But we know what's happening. Everyone just starts running on the bathroom. And then after Big Dick Jones has finished his business, he walks out of the stall, and Bob's like, oh, fuck, he heard all of that. And they have that confrontation chat. And it's weird. And it's, again, a lot of shit. At first it starts off kind of calm, but then they do the whole spiel where Dick Jones is like, listen, back in the day, I called the old man an asshole, a fossil, all that kind of stuff, but I always respected him. I never crossed that line, but Bobby boy, you're crossing that goddamn line. We're going to see if you can fly. And then he does this weird thing where he reaches behind Bob's hair and just strokes his hair like that. I was like, no, don't do that. That was a little awkward and weird. And Bob's like, get the fuck off of me. He's like, you're going to test me, man. You cross that line. Watch out. You better fucking pray that you're going to be okay. Just threatening his life, Chaz. Like, it's not a good situation. Also find out that apparently Bob, he's getting all this money. He's going to buy a whole bunch of cocaine and hookers, as you do when you become vice president of OCP. That's actually mandated. And so I was like, oh, goddamn. Eventually, chat, we cut back to Robocop. And, a little bit of Murphy might still be in there because he's starting to have these dreams. He's not supposed to have these dreams. He's an amalgamation of flesh and machine, chat. The strengths of both, the weaknesses of neither. He shouldn't be dreaming. He shouldn't be having traumatic dreams. He's starting to remember all of these things, chat. These memories. He had a wife. He had a child. They were celebrating Halloween. He remember watching his son watch the show and say, Dad, can you do the gun thing? He can do the gun thing, chat. He still does that as Robocop. Fucking Lewis sees him do it at the shooting range. She's like, is that fucking Murphy? And she doesn't know. Doesn't know for sure, chat. No one's revealing anything. Because Murphy signed a goddamn contract. You can't say it. And so he's having all these visions. He just decides to ignore his program, and he just fucking gets up, chat. And he's just going to go out there and stop crime. The scientists, they're panicking. They don't know what's going on. They got to call Bob on the phone. He's out there just banging hookers and sniffing blow. No one knows what's going on. Bob comes in there. He's like, what's happening? And he's like, he probably had a bad dream. He's like, no, get him back. This is nonsense. Lewis confronts Robocop. He's like, are you Murphy? He can't answer, chat. He doesn't know who he is at this point. But he goes off. He goes out there to stop crime. Meanwhile, we talk to Emil, the guy with the weird comb-over red hair, and he's holding up a gas station. This poor guy, this gas station attendant, he just wants to get through college, and this guy's just fucking threatening him. Give me your fucking money. He's like, oh, you're one of them college boys, and he's gonna kill this kid too. And he's like, I don't want to see this. And he's like, give me a. He fell off my goddamn, motorcycle and everything. I was a 20 on number 7, I believe he says. And then Robocop, he sees this crime happening. And he's like, I stop this, dead or alive, you're coming with me. And Emil's like, holy fucking shit. I remember that nerdy guy saying that before. We killed you. We killed you. He's panicking, chat. And the Robocop has his mouth is a gap, chat. Because he realizes who this is or who he thinks it might be. And so he does a whole recording because he can do that. You can record stuff, chat, for crimes later on. And then, Emil, he starts shooting at Robocop. He shoots some of the tanks of gasoline. Little stations there. The fucking college boy, he got out there, thank God. I want him to die. He's learning his geometry. I want to have him become an architect. He shouldn't be working at a gas station, being stuck up by stuff like Emil. And then Emil, he lights a goddamn cigarette, throws it on the ground, big fucking explosion. Doesn't phase Robocop whatsoever, guys. Robocop pulls out his and I love this scene. Again, practical effects work so well. He shoots his fucking motorcycle, and then Emil hits a parked car, and he just fucking flies. And it is such a great fucking effect when it happens. And he just tumbles and skids. Emil's got a serious concussion at this point, chat. He's fucked up. Robocop's like, who are you? Like, very stilted, but it works for him. Like, he's like, who is this guy? I seen him before. He fucking books him, chat. And then he goes back to the police station. He wants to find out who this guy is. And he goes through his records, chat, his accomplices, and he lands on the guy, Charles Bodecker. I remember him. I'm going to go after him. Meanwhile, chat, we cut to Bob's office, or not Bob, Bob's home, and he's doing what I told you he'd be doing. He's banging hookers and he's doing blow, and like I love it because each hooker wants him to concentrate on one of them. So he's going back and forth, like each one's trying to do more sexy things. One pours just cocaine all on her boobs, the bazingas, the bazungas, and he's just sniffing and just jiggling everything like that. Meanwhile, he's distracted because someone's at his door. It's like, oh, that must be the champagne and the extra blow I ordered. He goes over to the door, chat, and who's behind the door, you may ask? Fucking Charles Bodecker. He's got a big old loaded pistol aimed at big boy Bob's face. Bob was like, oh, God damn it. The girls see this, like, all right, see you later. They leave. Oh, and the iconic line. Excuse me, I almost forgot about this. Before they leave, Bodecker says, bitches leave, and they get the fuck out of there. They listen very well, and they leave. And then Charles Becker just proceeds to shoot Bob multiple times in the legs, makes him ensure he's incapacitated, chat. Puts in a little laser disc, maybe DVD, I don't know. Puts in a little laser disc, and there is Big Dick Jones talking shit. He's like, I told you, Bob, you can't be the big dick around here with the old man. Like, you crossed that line, you gotta pay for it. And Bodecker, he's just I love it, because he's just doing blow in the background, just sniffing and stuff. He's pocketing things. Like, I'm gonna take all this shit, who cares? And then he uses like this super futuristic grenade with a timer, chat. It's like a little digital timer. He puts it down just out of reach of Bob. He says, sayonara, Bob, and he gets the fuck out of there. Bob's like, yeah, he's trying, but he's too high, chat. He's had too much bazungas in his face at this point. He's a lot going on. And he doesn't grab the grenade, chat, and he fucking dies. It blows up his apartment. That is the end of Bob. It's done. It's like, oh, now we know that Big Dick Jones is working with Clarence Bodecker. It's like, this is not a good situation. Then meanwhile, we're following Clarence Bodecker, chat. And he's trying to gain more control of old Detroit. He visits a rival cocaine maker, distributor, chat, gang leader. And he's basically out. It's like, listen, you're gonna work for me. You're gonna give me all this cocaine. I'm gonna be the big boss of old Detroit. You're gonna follow my lead. And he's like, they have a Mexican standoff of sorts, chat. But the guy recognizes that Clarence Bodecker didn't give a damn about dying. He's like, I'll do this. I'll go down. I have no issue with that. And he's like, okay, let's call it off. But then, chat, who breaks through their operation through the big old double-decker doors? Robocop. And he just starts laying waste to everybody because he's looking for Clarence Bodecker. Takes out the rival gang leader and all his guys. And a great action scene, chat. It's choreographed very, very well. As stiff and awkward as Peter Weller moves throughout all this, it's just good. And coupled with the music, too, it's awesome. The bazongas. Paradox, welcome to the stream. Did I miss? Oh, yeah, you did. Check out the VOD later, Paradox. It was a good discussion. Excuse me. So, he lays waste to everybody, chat. But eventually, he corners Bodecker. And, Bodecker, I mean, he just, the computer programming, his programming and his human side, they're like at conflict with each other. So when he's like reading his Miranda rights and things, he's just throwing them through fucking windows. It's like, I think he went through 3 different windows. He's just throwing them through. And at one point, he's like choking Bodecker. He's like, and then Bodecker's giving all the information up, Chad. He's like, oh, I want to save my life. He's panicking, Chad. He's a little bit of a coward. He says that Big Dick Jones behind everything. He works for the OCP. I'm on his payroll. He's making money off of this criminal enterprise. He's a piece of shit. He doesn't care about the people. Robocop's hearing all this, and he stops choking Bodecker. He's like, I'm gonna arrest you. This is not who I am. He goes ahead, he arrests Bodecker, throws him in, and is like, oh, book him. And they're like, on what? For cop killing. It's like, it's pretty good, chat. Like, every line that Robocop has or Bodecker has, gold. And it's another little improv moment, I think, because Bodecker, it's like they have him like at the, they don't cut away, but they have him like at the police desk with the black police chief. And he's like, the black police chief is like, he's just writing. And all of a sudden, he just fucking spits like a wad of blood and spit. Like, it's like that, and everyone like had like a visceral reaction. I believe that was some improv right there, which I thought would work really well. And he says, I just need my goddamn phone call. And then he fucking spits. And then apparently, Chad, he goes ahead and contacts Big Dick Jones. Big Dick Jones, he's like, you fucked up, but I'll get you and your boys out of prison. Hangs up, he's like, I gotta take care of this Robocop because he clearly recorded that entire confession. This could be bad for me. Where are we at this point, Chad? Now I'm getting a little lost here. I think we're close to this. Where am I? I just want to make sure I have all these in the right order. Oh, now I know what happens. Okay, so Robocop, very quickly, this happens. Robocop, he goes to the OCP headquarters, chat, and he confronts Big Dick Jones. Big Dick Jones is like, oh, that's, those are some serious accusations. I guess you should just arrest me. And Robocop's like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. And he walks up to him, but then all of a sudden he's like, it does not compute. Because his program, he has certain directives, chat. He's got to uphold the peace. He's got to arrest bad guys, and he's got to shoot people who don't comply. But there's this 4th directive. He can't arrest any senior member of the OCP, which Big Dick Jones happens to be a part of. He's like, oh, I've been foiled. It's like it creates an automatic shutdown. And Big Dick Jones, like, he's just, he's just laughing at him. Dangling the fact that, you can't do shit. But he notices, like, oh, I guess there's more Murphy in you than I thought. Oh, there's also one, I'm sorry, Chad, we gotta go back in the past. There's one point where Murphy, he goes and checks out his old home that he had with his wife and child at one point. And he gets more flashes, more memories and everything. It's very nice. It's cool. And yeah, more of the human Murphy comes out and everything. They have like a animated, like realtor in there. It's like, oh, this is a lovely feature in this home. And he gets pissed at him. He punches him in the face, and he's just not mad. So he's very mad. And now we're back here, and Big Dick Jones is saying, yeah, well, I guess there's more human in you than we thought. We'll take care of that. Ed, get in here. Ed 209, this fucking dumb turtle armored robot walks in, and it starts shooting the shit out of Robocop, chat, but it doesn't do much damage to him, blows him away. Robocop, he manages to get away, gets to the stairwell, chat. He just walks down the stairs, and then he looks up, and Ed 209's like, fuck stairs! Oh no, my one weakness! And Ed 209 tries to walk down these stairs, and he fucking fumbles the chat. He falls on his back. He's like, I can't get up. And Robocop says, well, that was a mild inconvenience. I'm going to get out of here. See ya. And so he leaves chat, but then he's in the parking lot when he's trying to get back to his car, when he's confronted by the Detroit SWAT team and a whole bunch of police officers. And you got Lewis who comes in there and a couple other people, and they're saying, he's a cop. He's Murphy. You can't do this. And the SWAT team is like, we got orders. And they just fucking lay into him, chat. And then Robocop just proceeds to roll around as he's getting shot and just kind of falls to each level, like super awkwardly. This is a big, heavy suit that Peter Weller's wearing at this point. But he manages to get to like the 3rd level, one of the lower levels. Fucking Lewis, she, for the first time actually being competent in her life, chat. She rolls up with her police car. She loads Murphy into it. And then she speeds off. She's taking him to safety, chat. So that was quite the situation. The boss fight at the end of Iron Man 1 mimics Robocop. Fuck yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Where it's disappointing. D-Man, he's doing his best. Chris, who's doing his best? Chris, just rolling around. Director 4, yeah, man. VGI Redemption, welcome to the stream. So, where are we? Oh yeah, so Bodecker, he got out of the prison, Chad. He's going to meet Big Dick Jones here, and he's not. I mean, he's pretty pissed off about it. Big Dick Jones pretty pissed off about it. They have a rapport of sorts, chat. But there's a lot of anger between them. Again, they're just doing this for the sake of convenience, for the sake of goddamn business. They're not friends. And he's like, listen, I'm done with you. Because Big Dick Jones says, you got to take care of this for me. Robocop escaped, go out and kill him. He's like, I'm not going to kill this guy. Fuck that. He fucked up me. He fucked up my crew. No fucking thank you. And then Big Dick Jones said, you know what? When we start building New Detroit, there's going to be trailers upon trailers of construction workers and architects who are going to need of blow and big old titties. And I think you can provide that, Clarence. Clarence goes, yeah, I do have a lot of that. I have a surplus of the bazoongas and of the cocaine. And I was like, you know what? Let's continue this relationship. But he's like, listen, Big Dick Jones, I'm going to need I need some military class firepower, some better firepower. What do you got from Big Dick Jones? Like, I got that, man. We are practically the fucking military. It's like, ooh, more of that critique coming in there. All these privatized companies building weapons for the U.S. military, chat. I like that. And so then we cut back to Robocop and Lewis. And then for the first time, chat, we see Robocop. He's trying to do repairs on himself. He's pretty fucked up. He takes off his mask, and it's still the human face of Murphy. And he has all these memories, doesn't know what he is. But he's like, this guy looks good. It's like, but it's only like a flesh mask of Murphy. Because like the back of his head's completely gone. It's weird looking. It's like, ooh. And then he asks Lewis, he's like, what happened to my family? And she says, well, they went to the funeral, then they left, and they started over. They're somewhere else now. And he's like, okay, Lewis, can you just leave? Can you just leave me alone? He just says it, please. Like, Lewis, you suck. Leave me alone. He just sits there very sad, awkwardly sitting there just sad. She knows, like, I know I'm the worst cop ever. I'm going to leave now. And she goes off, chat, and we just focus on Murphy just sitting there sad. Meanwhile, chat, we cut back to Bodecker and the gang, and the police force, apparently, they have gone on strike due to the stuff that's happened to Murphy, because he is a cop. He is one, despite him being mostly machine than man, they love that guy. They know he's a good person on that. They know it's Murphy at this point. And so they've gone strike, but then the streets are just filled with chaos. Bodecker and his gang, they're doing nonsense, chat. They got these big fucking sniper rifles that apparently have like an anti-aircraft missile or some like anti-tank missile. They're just blasting at stores and cars, fucking things up. Like, okay, this is the threat we gotta deal with now. The Bodecker gang has this hardware, chat. At one point, they see, like, also, apparently Big Dick Jones gave a tracker to Clarence that shows Robocop's location. He's like, he's in the steel mill. We got to go over there and get him. And so they all drive to the steel mill, chat. Meanwhile, Robocop and Lewis, they're bonding a little bit more. A little bit more of Murphy's humanity is coming back, chat, because his computer programming is all fucked up. But he's like, I'm remembering what a good cop I was. I can shoot without my computer programming. I was like, oh, this is cool, nice bonding moment. Meanwhile, the Bodecker crew, they arrive. Murphy and Lewis, they hear him, and we get the big old shootout, chat. Even despite, like, this advanced hardware, none of Bodecker's guys can really hit anything. Like, I think back now, and, like, they have just so many assault weapons, shotguns, pistols, and the only time they can hit something is when it's a defenseless man who's about 3 feet in front of them. Other than that, they're pretty bad shots. Also, when they threw Bobby out of the car and shot him. There's that, too. But, you know, Murphy, he starts taking out all the guys. He shoots the guy who sounds like a hyena. At one point, he killed a couple of other Bodecker's guys in the past, too. You don't need to know them, Chad. They were kind of forgettable. But he kills the hyena guy. At one point, he confronts Emil, who was that son of a bitch guy who almost killed the gas station attendant. But he's doing some cool moves. He's like jumping out of the way because at one point he's again one of the most disturbing deaths in the entire film, chat. Robocop is in front of this tank of toxic waste that just still happens to be at the steel mill, chat. And he just walks out of the way as Emil just drives headlong into it, chat. Just got hot, boiling toxic waste just hits Emil all throughout his body. He comes out the back of the truck. And then we see one of the a scene that really creeped me out when I was younger when I saw this. And his flesh is just coming off of him. He's just melting. He's a mutant at this point. He's just melting, Chad. He's like, help me, help me. It's like the guy's a piece of shit, but it's like, damn. I mean, I guess his exterior now matches his interior, Chad. He's a piece of shit. And he's just fucking, he can barely move. He's like, and he encounters the one guy you've seen, the guy with the black hair and the blue eyes. He encounters that guy and get another comic line. He's like, "Don't touch me, man." He just wants help. He's not getting any help, chat. It's like no one wants to touch him. He doesn't. No one. He don't. It's great. And so, Bodecker and also Lewis, they get into a little bit of a chase, chat. And they're driving their cars, and again, she's keeping tabs on him at this point. But then the mutant, poor Emil, just stumbling out. He wanders in front of Bodecker's car. Bodecker doesn't see him. Fucking hits him, chat, and Emil just fucking explodes. It's just, because I guess it just moistened him up. He's like a hot pocket, I guess, chat. It just moistened him. He's just ready to burst. And he fucking hits him, and it's just blood, water, mutated flesh. It's like a water balloon went off. And Bunker's like, "What the fuck?" And, he crashed the car because he just hit a water balloon, man. He crashed the car. Lewis gets out of the car, but he still has his pistols, chat. He shoots the fuck out of Lewis. She falls down. She's not dead, chat, but he fucks her up pretty good. Robocop, he sees Bodecker right there. He's like, "I'm going to get you." But meanwhile, the guy with the black hair and the blue eyes, whose name I do not remember. He's juicy. He's too much juice. You don't want to be. That's the highest level of juice you can get. You don't want to be. You want to be at my level, my juicy level, not that juicy level. It's like, no. That's a risk. The guy with the black hair and the blue eyes, he's up in like a crane that's like grabs like a claw, Chad. It grabs like garbage, and Bodecker's trying to lead Robocop over to him so he can release the claw and all that. And Robocop's like, fuck this, man. I'm just here to kill you. I'm not here to arrest you. I'm here to kill you for what you did for me. And Bodecker is like, "Oh, come on, let's not do that. You should arrest me. You're a cop." And, Robocop's like, "I don't care." But then the guy with the black hair and the blue eyes, he releases the crane of garbage and it falls on Robocop. And Bodecker's like, "Yay!" And the guy up there's like, I did it, Clarence, we did it." And then Lewis, for the first time ever, does something competent, manages to grab the anti-tank gun and just blows the fuck out of that guy in the crane. And so the only one left of the Bodecker gang happens to be Bodecker. And so he's like, "Fuck this." And he should have probably just shot Lewis, but he doesn't. He's like, "She's passed out. It's whatever." And he just wanders on over to Robocop. He's like, "I'm going to kill you, Robocop." And then, he starts like trying to stab him with things, chat, like this metal pipe. Probably just should have shot him, but he didn't. So he starts stabbing with this thing, and he gets like really close to him at one point. And the Robocop, like, he has like this little, I guess like you can call it like a USB port, but it looks like a fucking knife. The Assassin Creed's him, chat, where he uses his hidden blade, stabs it in Bodecker's neck, and just a fountain of fucking blood just starts splurting out. Bodecker is dead. Robocop goes over to Lewis. He's like, "They messed me up, Robocop. They messed me up." Murphy's like, "Don't worry, OCP will repair you." Now, the last thing we need is a Lewis, chat. We don't need that. But the job is not done. There's still Big Dick Jones hanging out in OCP. He's just about to launch the Ed 209 program. You have an Ed 209 every block. The less of those giant turtle machines, the better. But, Robocop's got to go and stop him. He encounters another Ed 209 in the stairwell, just fucking knocks it over. No problem. He goes up there, chat, and then Robocop, he's like, "You son of a bitch, I'm here to arrest you." And then he's like, "Oh, what are you talking about? He's malfunctioning. Destroy him." But then, chat, he had the laser disc that Bodecker had, and he plays it, the one that had Big Dick Jones saying all that shit to Bob, and he's like admitting that, "I'm here to kill you, and I work for Clarence Bodecker, or Clarence Bodecker works for me." And it's like, all this is in the open. And then Big Dick Jones like, "Oh, this is not good." And he grabs the old man, chat, and he's like, "I'll kill the motherfucker, I'll kill him." He has the big old Magnum pistol that Kenny once had. Do you remember Kenny, chat? No one cares about Kenny. So he's like threatening him, the old man, but there's the directive, chat, as we all know, Directive 4, he can't shoot Big Dick Jones because he's an employee. He's a senior member of the OCP organization. But then, chat, the old man says, "Big Dick Jones, you're fired," and he elbows him in the stomach. This old man who's like 80 years old. Apparently that was too much for Big Dick Jones. And then Robocop goes, "Thank you," and he just fucking lays into him, chat. And then we get probably the worst death scene in the movie, in all honesty, which I'm like, this is weird. Where'd the budget go? Where he flies out a goddamn window. Meanwhile, all the executives are like, "Yes, kill him." There's bloodlust. It's weird. So they blast Big Dick Jones out, and then we get this terrible stop-motion claymation death where his arms are fucking huge. They're like long and weird. I'm like, it's like, this doesn't work at all. He's a claymation figure, and he just fucking falls to his death. And then the old man asks, "What's your name, son?" And then Robocop says, "Murphy," and credits. That's Robocop. Highly recommend checking it out, guys. It's an amazing movie.